Hello.
Now, hello.
I think mine may have made it. You never know.
All right. Are you over?
That's as far as I can go.
Well, people really want to see me.
Well, obviously.
They want to see me. They want to feel my presence.
Creepy.
Yeah. The display might look a little different because we're having a bizarre OBS error. and so like it's not letting us edit the window where we ordinarily put chat, so that's just in the background there.
So sometimes we may forget, and by we I mean I, because I'm at the big computer,
Also,
and I may accidentally move my document over,
if you take a look, you can see that the heart is off the screen.
which means some of the chat is off the screen.
I don't know if it's going to be too much.
So, whoops, wrong
Wait,
thing.
don't do that. Don't do anything yet. Can everybody, when they're looking at the window, can you see the word "everyone" by Alice Simpson? Maybe I can answer my own question.
I was going to say, no, you can't.
You can see
every.
every. So it needs to come over just slightly. That should be good.
Let's see. Wait for it to update.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's
Good.
still no heart. Interesting.
That's fine. It's more of an annoyance anyway.
Well, sure, but interesting nonetheless.
All right.
Oh, for some people it ended at ever. I thought I saw an R in part of a Y, but you never know.
This sweater does say Amsterdam, and it's an extremely frustrating sweater, and I want to explain why.
Because it's actually a sweatshirt and not a sweater.
Whatever. So there are... Es ist ein Pulli. Ja? All right. So there are 9 letters in Amsterdam. You can see 3 of these letters are yellow, 3 of them are blue, 3 of them are pink. It's very, very nice. And when the pink touches the blue, the result is purple. When the yellow touches the blue, the result is green. And when the yellow touches the pink, the result is purple.
As it should be.
Exactly the same as when the pink touches the blue. Exactly the same. It's ridiculous. It should be some sort of little meld, like a kind of orangey color when the yellow touches the pink. But it's not. And so...
Maybe they ran out of orange ink when they printed these.
Oh, goodness. It's just unbelievably consternating. And so every time I see this, all I do is I look at where the yellow touches the pink and just think, like, that's not the way that should be.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
Said the blue T is touching the A. Oh, the blue A down below?
What?
Well, the blue T is touching the... Oh, yeah, the blue A. So
yeah, so
that's the part that bugs Patrick.
No, it's just blue on blue there.
I didn't design it.
Well, look at this. I mean, if you have 9 letters and 3 colors, these colors go yellow, pink, pink, blue, yellow, blue, pink. What? That doesn't make any sense. It's just, and also we have 2 letters, 4 letters, and then 3 letters.
Yeah, but it's Amsterdam. It's syllables.
Really? It's not amps? Dam?
Who says that? Anyway, anyway, it was a purchase when I was stuck in the airport, which is pronounced obviously Schiphol and not Schiphol, as I believe it's actually pronounced.
Schiphol.
But anyway, I was in that airport in Amsterdam and ended up just through a lot of accidental travel mishaps having to essentially spend the night in the airport. I met some lovely rats. There are rats on the 2nd floor of the airport if you go upstairs to sleep in the hallway, because that's where it's less busy at 3 in the morning. And so anyway, was in the airport and it was freezing. Like, I was a little icicle and I had all the layers on that I had packed with me. But it wasn't enough, and so I found a store selling hoodies, and I bought one, and that's where this came from. was to make me less of a popsicle while I spent the night in the airport in Amsterdam. And now it has a secondary purpose. It kept me warm that night, but now I know that I can bug David.
Anytime.
Score.
So, Logan mentions that because we also got our copies of reading fictional languages, and I have to say, anytime people are writing about conlang, sometimes I just wonder. Like, one of these was about analyzing, writing systems, orthographies, fonts for aliens in TV and movies, and there's 3 or 4 examples pulled randomly over the past 30 years. None of the work that I've done, and then there are conclusions drawn off it. Really bizarre. And of course, all of them are just ciphers. And then also there was another orthography one where they looked at. It was we're going to analyze.
That takes saying it's definitely in.
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, go on.
We're analyzing. What was that? Conlang. Another one analyzing conlang orthographies, and they look at 2, and one of them was there was a writing system. So they analyzed 2 from Dune, and one of them is the main one, and then the other one is the Fremen had an orthography that was created by John Quixote for the Dune Encyclopedia in 1980, and it's that's true.
Wow.
It's they just. But this happens all the time. It is
it happens in academia.
I've done literally nothing.
Well, have you really?
It's
now
true.
You married me.
That's true. Now I'll start getting some respect. Start calling me Dr. Peterson.
Because they don't know who the real doctor is. So, okay.
I can't operate on this language. He's my son.
And also, thank you. Thank you, Jake. We did have a great week. David is feeling much better now.
Much.
It was, much. You can talk without dying.
That's true.
There's some coughing still, but you're not dying over here. And we had a lovely break and vacation to Philadelphia.
I'm just announcing that I'm going to get a haircut this Saturday. It's become unmanageable.
This Saturday is a little bit busy, but sure.
I don't know what else to do.
And then also, yes, now that you're feeling better, I remember where I was going with that. You interrupted me. Now that David's feeling better, tonight maybe we can actually record the podcast that's going to come out tomorrow. So I've got it all prepped. I'm ready. But
podcast / vodcast.
Oh, because it's a video.
Yeah.
For people who watch it when it's finally released on video, because it's not actually a vodcast until.
I know.
I got very confused. I was like, why are we drinking vodka? I was very confused.
I used to have long hair, Jonathan, when I was 15, 16. Straight as an arrow.
Jonathan is joking. You know Jonathan's hair.
I know.
It's glorious.
I'm not, and I was defending myself, saying that I did actually have long hair at one point in time. But
I used to have long hair too.
It's pretty long. What was I going to say?
Exactly, CJ. The podcast.
I still have yet to actually take our season 5 podcast episodes and put them on the actual podcast, like the one that you subscribe to via RSS. I need to do that. I haven't. Very sorry. And so help me if we get to talking about Full Metal Alchemist.
Anyway,
I despise that show.
Matisse is growing his hair out to at least jaw length. I'm excited to see that.
Oh, it would be interesting.
Okay, now that Audiaz is here, we can start.
Woo!
We've been waiting.
All right, so let's get right into the poll. So the poll was
Oh, I can pull that up.
for coming up with a word.
Soldiers.
Soldier, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
The shell
Shield.
shield. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back into it and
Star shield versus moon shield.
remember how to do this because man, I was out of it. But
listen, like David's really out of it when we really had intended on recording a special episode. So that way you all would have something on Thursday, even though we wouldn't be live. And I mean, David was really just not well. And so, we couldn't do it before we left, which meant we couldn't do it. But yeah, it was a bad go. I'm glad you're. See, this is why I say you're much better.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and list the top 4. Everything got votes.
Oh my God, Matisse, I love it. It's not that I like it longer, but a lot of suitors demand it. I don't like it.
Okay, I am.
Ooh, Tethys's hair is almost hip length. Wow.
Okay, so then the thing that I need to do is, I need to pull up the new, the new note I just made. Okay, the one called poll.
When I say he's doing much better, I'm not saying he's back to normal capacity. I'm saying he's at least here with us.
Okay, all right. Ish. So I'm going to narrow it down to the top 4, and so we'll go in order.
Okay.
Number 4 was Yoni's suggestion, so that the modern word for shell, right? It was shell that we were doing.
For shield, right? Jack? Because it's for Jake. That's their word.
Hold on a sec. So we have, moon. So we have, okay. Yes. Moon shell and star shell, and we already have star. So this is the word for moon.
Right.
This is the word for moon. Okay, so Yoni's suggestion was that the modern word for moon would be him, and that then the moon shell, or the moon shield, would be shinjak. All right?
Oh, that sounds very...
That's very cool. Shinjak, and this is a long A, right? Or minor ones. Yeah, shinjak. Okay. That would be... So that one finished in 4th place.
Oh, I thought it was 3rd. Ooh, okay.
In 3rd place, we have Miles' suggestion. And so Miles' suggestion was in the proto, so it would have been sharp. That would be moon, and then the moon shield would be shupchak.
Oh my.
Shupchak.
Miles, I adore you, but no, that's like all consonants until you hit that A at the end.
All right. Just above that, in 2nd place, we have Jake's suggestion. Jake's suggestion would have made the word for moon kpan.
Oh, that's
so not like knan, but with a P. Kpan.
I love it, Jake.
And then the moon shield would be kpanjak.
Oh my God!
I keep doing it short. Kpanjak. There we go.
Okay, like that needs to be something that it's obviously not going to be our word here because it's in 2nd place. But that's nice.
Yeah, but number 1 by quite a few votes was none other than Arias' suggestion.
Woo!
So for Arias, our new word for moon is going to be gun. And then the word for the moon shield will be kunjak.
Okay, now that one also has like no vowels until the but it feels more approachable than Miles's. And so I'm happy with that. However, I really do like Jake's Panjak. That's amazing.
I do have a potential suggestion. But before I suggested, I want to take a look at.
You take a look. I want to take a slight moment to do a itsy bitsy sidestep. Because if you notice, back to back, we had third place is Miles, second place is Jake, and they are also partners in creating a language together that I believe was actually. Now, you'll all have to tell me if this language was actually because you wanted to do the Conlang relay together, or you were creating it and then the Conlang relay came up and you were like, let's do this together. You'll have to like fill me in on that timeline. But anyway, they are doing a live stream thing for Luxembourg, and so like you can follow it. I know on Instagram it's let's have a booba, and that's on Instagram. But anyway, it's all very exciting Luxembourg stuff.
Arias, by the way, in victory says, thanks, there was a subtle connection to a certain word with K and N that we all know and love.
Connection. There's an E in there.
Oh, connection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like connection better. It's much more opossum-y.
Okay, you started the language after the Conlang relay before this last one that you actually participated in, if I'm reading that correctly. Anyway, if I'm following that syntax. But yeah, so that's exciting. If anyone else is participating, remember that that's tomorrow. And so yeah, I actually spent a lot of my work time today before the stream getting ready I'm doing participating in rather 3 different Luxembourgs, and so getting all those set up.
So, okay, I do want to make my suggestion. I had to check first. So,
perfect.
As we said, Arias won, so the Moon Shield will be our Tier 4 soldier for the opossums. But in the expansion, one of the new soldier classes is going to be a Tier 3 opossum. And so, if we can think of an idea for what Kapan would mean, aside from star or moon, that could go ahead and be our Tier 3 soldier.
I love it. Okay, so Tier 2 soldier came out to...
No, wait. Which one was top? Hold on, here, I'll check. No, Tier 2 was star, so this is Tier 4. Oh, you don't have Tier 2 in there. Go ahead. I'll tell you. It's Farjak.
How do you spell that?
FARDZHAAK.
And does it need a boom boom on the...
No, that's just something that happens in Lecture G.
Okay. And then this one was going to be Kun.
Yeah, and then,
Jock, with the D still there, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that was the 4.
I'm going to write this in here.
And then, yes, I want to make a note in expansion pack. We're going to have...
Yeah, and it's just a short A.
Pun.
Yeah.
Jock. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And, okay. And what level is it at in between 2 and 5?
So we have 2, 4, and 3.
I can count stars. That's really only 4.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, I mean, sun. Do we have a word for sun? Like S-U-N? I don't have the woke or the Tapahla document open.
I think that we actually might. I mean, I'll check, but okay. I think we do.
Ooh, Matisse is ready for Luxembourg. Excellent. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jonathan, for reminding me that the streams are on Wednesdays. That would have been good to announce with that. So, yes, on Wednesdays, you can join Miles and Jake live.
What time?
Yeah, what time is it again? Miles, Jake, or Jonathan, since you know too. And it's located... Oh, and they posted the link in the Luxembourg thing on Discord. If you are not on Discord, it is at 1:30 Pacific time. So if you're in England, it's 9:30 at night. If you are on East Coast time, it is 4:30 p.m. And if you're Alice, it is on Thursday. um, so anyway, that's exciting. And so
maybe it's like constantly paying attention for you. I tune out for like 30 minutes of stream.
Totally. And then I chime in just to say it's time for a Kopiko, right?
Okay, so Tethys has posted the link. But
Ooh,
for those of us who just want to share, like for example, to come to us, you just look for user LangTime Studio on YouTube. What's the name of the user that you can search for to get to your stream? That's true.
That is true, Mateus. Yeah.
Yeah. McCain NL.
And then it is okay. It's just let's have a booba on all locations.
Perfect. Let's have a booba. BOUBA.
And then perfect. And I was not able to join yesterday, and so my goal is to watch it tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. Is
totally unaware that it was happening yesterday. That's my fault.
we couldn't have tuned in when it was though. We had lots of things going on. You were actually working at that point with Carl.
That's right.
And so, like, literally, we could not have done it yesterday.
Yeah, we're picking back up. I haven't seen Carl today, but we're picking back up in terms of work. So that's kind of nice. But it does mean that we have less free time. Just getting us back and finishing off to Pakla before moving on to Wokuthízhű, which is what we're doing today. I wanted to note that we actually do not have a word for sun yet. And I think that this makes sense given the cosmology of the opossums. The sun is essentially just a bigger star, but the moon is still prime. And so it makes sense that star would be 2, sun would be 3 because it's slightly bigger, but the moon is still number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Kapan will be our word for sun.
There was a suggestion in chat that was, I think I can like scroll all over the place here. Who said it? Yoni had suggested a specific word for Venus, which I also think is kind of cool because it's, one of the bigger stars that you can see at night. So that is a cool suggestion. I do like the sun idea though, because that's definitely, I feel like Venus would end up getting a like a compound or a derived form of a star. But sun I could see as having its own root. But that was a really cool suggestion, Yoni.
Yes. All right. So HIJKL. All right.
And that was going to be, I was going to go ahead and do it. This was a 3-star. So excellent work on the names, and so thank you to everyone who put in suggestions, and everyone who voted. These are some good soldier names we got going here. Nice, Patrick.
And that would be this one. Okay. I just need to look up one form to see what it would be. There we go, Kpanchi. So it'll be Kpanchi. Here we go. Okay.
Hooray! All right, so I'm going to close out this document.
Yes.
And go back into Lexergy where we're ready for Wokuthízhű. And I'm going to get these 2 documents situated so I can see them more easily. We've got this list, and then we've also got this document. All right. Now, what we need to do here is we need to first situate ourselves to remember what vocabulary we already have. We do have 2 mouse bards, if you recall, the reason there are mouse bards at all is because we had so much fun in patron streams coming up with music words and instruments. And we created this sort of world view of these lovely little musical mice. And then David looked at his original plan for the game and realized there were no bards at all in the Mouse Kingdom. And so like that was really big. Speaking of the Mouse Kingdom, we should start with a name for the kingdom.
That's probably going to take the entire stream, but yeah.
But yeah, I think, however, we already have a word for singer or bard. We will need a second word.
CCB. That was the mouse one. So yeah, we will need a second one, and then
archer.
Yeah, and then probably traps and things like that, and of course the big thing is that the tanks. I did want to reorient everybody as we get back into Wokuthízhű. I wanted to talk a little bit about polysynthesis, and in particular talk about a few things that made the language very challenging, where it might not otherwise have been. So the polysynthetic language I am most familiar with are the variety of Inuktitut that is spoken in northwestern Canada. In particular, there are 3 closely related varieties, and of those, the one of the 3 that I am most familiar with is one that used to be called Ibialuktun. It's actually now called Silyamutun. Anyway. And these languages, they're all very similar. They're basically, it's kind of like not a Sprachbund. That's just languages spoken in an area. We call it a dialect continuum, like, going from Dutch to German, like, and how it kind of like goes gradually. What do we call that?
It's not a Sprachbund?
No, because Sprachbund, it could just be unrelated languages spoken in an area.
Oh.
It's a dialect continuum is, I think, the word, but I mean...
Sorry, diaspora is the only thing coming to my head, and that's not the right word.
Yeah, but it's the type of thing where it's like, Dutch is definitely not the same language as German, but the thing is, if you look at the specific varieties and how they change as you move from one to the other, it's really hard to say, okay, this one's Dutch and this one's German, Yeah. Yeah, so...
People are liking this dialect continuum phrase, so we're going to go with it.
So that's the case with a lot of the varieties of Inuktitut, all the way from Alaska to Greenland. And I think one of the reasons, there are a few reasons that the phonology specifically makes that language, those languages work. Number one is, and here again I'm speaking specifically of the variety I've looked at, a word, period, a root can only end in one of 4 things. It's first of all, there's only 3 vowels, which is great, long and short. So it can end in a vowel, which is one of 3 things, or it could end in P. Or it can end in K, T, or Q. That's it. There are a ton of other consonants, but that's the only thing those things can end with. Second, these languages are exclusively suffixing. And so what that means is that as you start to build up these very long words, right, it'll be like, okay, this is what it looks like if it follows a vowel. This is what it looks like if it follows T. This is what it looks like if it follows K. This is what it looks like if it follows Q. That's a very small number of things. Very small number of things to get a hold of. And second, since it's always suffixing, there's no question about what applies first. This is part of what happens with like these bracketing paradoxes in English, where it's like, is unhappiness, is it unhappiness or is it unhappiness, right? In some cases it doesn't matter in English, but in some cases it really does, where it's like if you do it the wrong way, you end up with a word that isn't a word in English. Like, I can't think of a great one off the top of my head, but there's tons of examples like this.
Like the first word that came up, is patriotic, unpatriotic. You can't have patriot, unpatriot.
Right.
and then get the ick. Like you've got to have the ick before you can do the un.
Right. So it's unpatriotic, not unpatriot plus ick on the end. That's impossible. So that happens because we have prefixes and suffixes in English. And so it's like, okay, you can do things like that.
Mm.
Now, with a polysynthetic language, the words can become really, really, really long. And so since they're exclusively suffixing in the Inuktitut languages, it's pretty easy. It's like, whatever. First it was this, then it was this, then it was this, then it was this. No muss, no fuss. In Wokuthízhű, we have prefixing, what do you call it? Inflection.
Mm-hmm.
So who does what to whom is prefixing. A. And B, we decided to use that for derivation as well. Hence the wo in Wokuthízhű. That made things a lot harder on us. It's not like it's impossible. It's not like you can't have a language that works this way. But it just made things a lot more difficult on us when we were already undertaking a difficult task of creating a polysynthetic language. Added on top of that, so with Inuktitut, all right, you have these kind of quote-unquote hidden consonants in that when a root ends in T, K, or Q, sometimes it disappears, and sometimes it affects a change in the next thing. But it's still, it's three things. That's it. Very, very small, all right? With us, we have whole series of disappearing consonants because we don't allow codas, and the codas affect a change in the previous tone, potentially. And so that means it's easy to get lost as you build these things up. So that is why the language that we created is extraordinarily difficult. It's extraordinarily difficult to manage as somebody who's on top of it creating the language, and it's really hard to get back into. It's really hard to sit down and create things in. So I wanted to mention that before moving on.
So one thing that I just want to throw out there is it could be the land of the committee for the kingdom. Wokuthízhű.
This is true. Like
no, not Wokuthízhű, because that's the language name. So
yeah.
I think it's Wokuthízhű is the committee.
Wokuthízhű. But
and I also wanted, yeah, because the land part came second. Okay.
Yeah. My original idea, and I think it's a cute idea, was to have a really long, complex name for the Mouse Kingdom, and it would be like, the like Confederated Association of Parliamentary Representative Republic / Democracies / the Kingdom of the, and so on and so forth. Reflecting this idea that, their form of government is to have all of them, where they have a king, they have a prime minister, they have a president, they have, a representative democracy where they have, representatives. They also have direct democracy, and then they also have a communal element, and they have all of these things not working together, but essentially working against each other at the same time. And that is, I really stand by that idea in terms of how the Mouse Society functions, but it does make making a name for it a lot more difficult.
Well, obviously you could have two names, the short version that outsiders use, right. Even when they're trying to refer to it by the name that is chosen by the mice. And then the internal name, which has that in it as a component, but it's also like much more epic.
Sure. And I was thinking of actually making it an acronym and using the acronym, but, I like this, the unified jurisdictions of the mousecular plenitude of all mice in the forest.
That's awesome. Another idea for right now is to essentially say, right now, here's a Band-Aid, and here's what we're going to call it, so we can label it in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then we can also, revisit it. For instance, when we do the patron stream this month, we could actually spend the entire 2-hour-long patron stream, just really coming up with ideas for what are we going to call the Mouse Kingdom for real.
That's true.
And like that could be like an entire exploration of like mouse culture and like what are they going to call it? And are they actually going to have multiple names for the mouse kingdom depending on which committee is referring to it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like there are so many things we can do, but I think yeah, for now just to have something to call it, I think having a simpler, shorter name would be ideal for the purposes of keeping it in one cell of the spreadsheet.
Yep. Um, I also wanted to mention there was an idea I had that was totally separate from polysynthesis, but it was this idea that I really loved languages where you just use the third person singular to make an agentive noun. And so, like, instead of having run, runner, runs, when used as a noun, would just be interpreted as runner. I wish that we hadn't done that for this. And I wish that we weren't stuck with it, because we absolutely are stuck with it now that we have the name of the language, Wokuthízhű. We're stuck with it. But I like, for example, Inuktitut, they have a couple different suffixes that turn a verb into somebody that does that verb. Like, and it's very, very simple. There's no reason that we couldn't have done that. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself that. Like,
well, and we also have an interesting situation where we just end up with a lot of wa and wo words, one of which is the agentive and the other is the patientive.
I know, and they sound very similar.
But it's also kind of funny because then you get this sort of phonological reality where the mice are not as specific as they may like to think they're being, or they're not like as maximally distinctive in their use of language, while the mice are convinced that they are like super logical and super logic based. And then you look at their language and it's like, nah.
And we can also have an additional just suffix that's used as an agentive as well, but is more limited in its function. For example, ye in the version of Inuktitut I'm most familiar with is specifically for somebody that has that as a profession, which is kind of an interesting idea.
I also like Patrick's. They have big ears. They can hear woe and wah very clearly.
Oh yeah.
They're cute mousy ears. Was that it for the day? You're done?
Yeah. So you take over.
All right. Well, I'm putting a little pin in this idea, whether you were ready for it or not. And I'm just going to say, oh, we named the Possum Kingdom, and I didn't carry it over to this document. So I'll have to remember to do that. Look this up. What was the Possum Kingdom name? If someone else remembers. Because I forgot to update. I think that was key. Go back to land Possum Tail. That was not Miles. That was a soldier's name. Right? Yeah, that was a soldier's name, right? What was the kingdom? And I'm only asking because I can't, oh, it's low tone, not high tone. I don't want to blank out the screen. OBS is having some issues today. Oh, that's right. It was something with pouch, I think. Anyway, you know what? It doesn't super matter because I can always go back and fill that in. Or when David gets back, I can make him look it up for me. So that way I don't have to black out the screen and figure things out while OBS is having a little issue. Okay, and also when David gets back, here's where we're headed. As he had mentioned, we're going to have some important, I did keep the stars. We're going to have some important words to create, and perhaps the most important, I know that there's a 5-star tank for the mice. One of the most important things is to figure out these tanks, and they're going to have 3 of them. I'm trying to remember what their star rankings are. I know I don't think it's the 4. I feel like somebody else has the 4. But I'm going to have David back before I can figure out the star rankings for the second two tanks. Because he's got that sheet. Oh, Jake and Mateus. Those are really good hints to make. Yeah, I'll have. And then, so tanks are going to be very important, including words related to them. David, I have two questions for you. The first is, what was the Possum Kingdom? Because I was labeling them down here and forgot to carry this over.
Knangsor.
Like that?
Yeah.
There we go. And we couldn't rightly remember. And then Mateus and Jake made a little hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing that they haven't received PDFs as patrons for a while. So I don't know if we should PDF these and like share them or something.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh,
hey, you've been slowly dying an internal allergy death, and so you're coming back around. So not a big deal, but you know, it's just a little wink, wink. Okay. What are the star rankings for the tank? That was my second question. You gave me the Knangsor answer, which I appreciate. I know there's a 5-star tank.
1, 4, and 5.
1. They kept the little 1 for themselves. Okay, I was right on that then. We do have 1 mouse rogue. What is the star rating?
2.
2-star rogue. And then we have an archer. 1 archer.
1.
And finally, we have 2 bards. What are our rankings for our bards?
3 and 5.
Ooh, not only did you make 2 bards, you gave them the 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's exciting. Right, Patrick?
Yeah. More stars is better. It means that there's a systematic way that your stats increase. At level 3, they get a new ability, and at level 5 they get another ability. So a level 5 will have a level 5 and a level 4 will also have the level 3 ability, and then the level 5 will have another ability as well. Okay.
So to sing is Jala. I thought we actually made singer.
I mean, it would be
in the W's.
It would be Wajana, right?
It'd be whoa, isn't it? Because they're the ones.
Oh, because they sing it. Yeah, Wojala. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Okay. So Wojala is singer.
Oh, the IPA is wrong.
Well, obviously this is pronounced Wokuthízhű. I mean, come on, David. What kind of linguist am I working with here? And that was high tone. Wojala. Oh, that is cute. Should that be one of our bard words then? Maybe the smaller one, the 3-star? Or do you want more specific names?
No. Yeah.
Wojala.
That's good. That's good. And then the 5-star should actually just be a derivation of that.
And let's look at our mousy derivations. Verbs. Where are, there's the noun chart, I think. Augmentative is fia.
Oh, it's a prefix. There we go again.
If it's a prefix, though, for nouns, it has to be noun first, right? So it's got to be Wojala. So fia Wojala.
No, I don't think you can do that because it's inflection.
I'm sorry.
So go to the verbal derivations, which are not there. You're going to have to scroll up.
The verbal derivations, which I'm...
Oh, not those. Not those.
Oh, what?
That is the tip of the little mousy tail. Go to page 38.
Too far. Wrong way. So for these. That could be a bird. Wokuthízhű. Oh, it could be Wokuthízhű. You keep singing. Mutually on accident. Respectfully, she.
This is the best.
Thoroughly. Traditionally. That's a big one. If you want a heck of a name. Ojala Mosala. David's seeing if it will fit in his cell on the sheet.
It will not.
It's the new Oseyamosa. Ah.
I kind of like, because I'm thinking of, well yeah, I already extend the box, but I mean, we don't want it to be like too long, but I was thinking that it's like, with the mice, what type of music would they like the best? And it feels to me like the highest type of music that the mice would aspire to would be
Rock and roll.
No, would be progressive rock. In other words, something that is complex for the sake of complexity.
So
Something
needlessly complex.
Something that is circuitous to the extreme. Something that is needlessly complex. That is what's going to make it beautiful. And then when we eventually get to the rat language, of course, it's going to be punk.
So you thinking Wokuthízhű?
Okay, so it depends before vowel. Where do these get added?
Well, okay, well these get added at the end of the verb root. However, because they're verb markers, in general, you would have something after it with the with all the stuff here that we end up getting, like evidential markers and
I think that
and these things. The
it was because the vo. In other words, it doesn't actually have a suffix on there. Okay, so okay, good. All right, so we don't need that, and we need so. Hold on a sec. Is that, of course, it's an adjective.
Nice, Patrick. Yes, it is an adjective.
Yeah.
You want to do the tutu?
I mean, it's one fewer syllable than wojala masala, but wojala titi. Hold on. Where? Not there. That's where I was. Here we go. Hold on a sec.
What if?
Hmm.
What if, David?
Mm-hmm.
Even the mice were like, this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go with me on this journey here.
Okay.
The bard is really the Wokuthízhű, which is the spinner to the extreme. Because this comes from to spin. And so a spinner would be Wokuthízhű.
I think that would make more sense for the dancer, wouldn't it?
Are there going to be dancers?
Yeah, I didn't make it for the first expansion, but for the second expansion, yeah, Dancer, that's absolutely coming.
There's also bards are known for playing instruments, yeah? Luxembourg, here we go. We have got it. Bull. Ooh, we could have a plucker. So anyway.
I put a poll up if you want to. So this is just seeing what people think about the reduplicated one, the non-reduplicated one, or just something else. And we'll wait for Bibloridian to arrive to settle things.
Also, I just want to point out that Jake's name could be like all over all these names if we were to have a bard who mainly used instruments like singing saws. Wojeka could be known as the one who is a magician with singing saws. Although I believe that the singing saws we had intended for multiple mice to have to do. Like we had envisioned this entire thing where it required like 3 or 4 mice to be able to do.
And together,
the actual thing.
They produce. Oh, darn it. Autocorrect.
Singing song. Inspire would be a very hefty root. It would need to be polysemy. Like you wouldn't really have inspire. Like maybe just, built off. Oh my gosh, yes. Jake. We need to change everything. We need to see how many Jakes we can fit in now. I feel like there's... Well, no, we still have votes out there.
We do.
Get your voices heard. If you don't like the current winner, which you can see at the top of my live chat bar, get in there and vote.
No, I think that they have the right of it, though.
You're going with the...
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. And I shall make it so. Oh wait, that was a high tone, wasn't it?
Yeah, and guess what?
Let's see.
This is now the first class where all of its members are named.
Hooray! Oh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Also means there's no dog bards, which I'm still a little upset about, but it's all right.
As I mentioned in the expansion, there's a 1-star dog bard.
Anyway. Okay, so we got that done. Well, what do you want to tackle next? Do you want to do some of the easier stuff like the archer and the rogue before we get to the main meat? And by the way, for now, I did just put in Wokuthízhű as our name for now, as a placeholder. You're happy with it, I can tell.
Let me take a look.
He's not happy with it. I'm little joking there with him because I can tell he's so not happy with it.
What does Jala end with?
An A?
Okay, then yeah, we're fine.
I think. Did you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Oh, key is just land.
Mm-hmm.
Bubble land.
Yeah, those are the only words spelt on it.
You might think me unusual for
Never.
suggesting this, but what's the plural of committee?
How do we do plurals in this language? Blah, blah. Let's fly through here.
What's it end with? C ends. It's a K. C-I-K.
I don't know. I think
It's inanimate.
I think it's gonna be. Oh, wait. So K, like Wokuthízhű or Wokuthízhű.
Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. Good Lord.
The committees. Gotcha. No, that wouldn't work.
What?
I was like, oh, we have a locative, but I'm like, but that wouldn't work. Like, you can't add a locative to committee to make it the land of the committees. It would be in the committee.
Yeah.
And that just is a little strange. But yeah, I believe it would be K. Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. Oh, goodness.
I know. Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű.
Those mice.
Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. Oh, goodness gracious.
I mean, we do have like Chu-ki-ku, where we've got.
Oh, I mean, we've got it right here. Imagine putting it in the locative would be Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. I don't know why that works easier. Wokuthízhű. 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 Wokuthízhű.
It's a lot. Oh, and Tethys, the reason that it's showing chat properly is that OBS isn't really working, and so it's really not showing properly according to how it's supposed to run in the background.
Yeah.
And so it's just part of our window today, which is why if I move something on my screen, I could end up covering it up by accident. And I wouldn't know until people started yelling at me. And so it's just, this is what we always see. We promise you, we've always been on live chat on our screen. It was always in OBS where we can actually save a window for it, where no matter what we move around the desktop, you can still see chat.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, like for instance, I could just do that and then see you're out. Well, that's true, Patrick. I would never know. I would just be oblivious. Are you thinking?
Yeah, I want to see if it makes sense to actually pluralize it.
Oh, so going back to page 38.
You know, it would also be funny if the name of the country was something like the yet to be named land because they hadn't agreed about what to call it, or what even its boundaries were, or whether it should have a name.
I love that for our mice. I wonder. Not finding opportunity. We do have oseyamosa in this language.
Oh, the thingamajig.
Oh my God. We don't have like, okay. We're not having any of the verbs that I'm trying to make work. We have, you know, an evidentiality marker.
Yeah.
That's thini to go on verbs. If we could find an appropriate verb to add it to, the land name could also be like some sort of nominal derivation of a verb that literally means like the committee has verified this is thus. And so, but like, I don't know what verb, like we don't have anything I was thinking of. But we do have to give. This is committee verified, the name to be given to other people. It is what is to be given to other people. It is the Wokuthízhű. It is the committee verified given. Not the real name, mind you. It's what you give. No? Okay, he doesn't like that idea.
I don't 100% understand it, but for those that do, let's start a poll. All right.
Ooh, we also have speak. It could be the thing that you speak, the name that you speak that is committee verified. And that would be Wokuthízhű. Wokuthízhű. Oh, see, I'm covering up checks. I moved over so I could see pages. Look at that. Jake says, welcome to the beautiful land of Lorem Ipsum. Lorem Ipsum. There we go. I said it wrong the first time.
What was the last one that you said?
Oh, we have to speak. I would need to look at how that actually works, although I'm not sure that we necessarily... Do we have to tell? We don't have to tell.
It doesn't matter if we don't have it yet. Just think of something that works and we'll just create it.
Well, it's just like...
See, I'm doing these in English.
Okay, so, well, I mean, it would essentially be the same as the top one, except it's we say it or we tell it, we relate it, committee verified.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of not final or subject to change.
Oh. Well, I mean, just something to be determined. Land to be determined. The to be determined land.
Can you type future in here? Oh, I kind of like that.
And then we could come up with a verb meaning like to name or to call, to label. And then
all right.
All right, so we've got a poll going with all the semantics that we may have.
I think that George Corley is here. However, I think George Corley might be using an account he ain't supposed to.
This was really a sidestep. I do apologize. I'd even said let's just put a pin in it, and then I made the mistake of scrolling down and telling you I had already entered a little pin holder, which really was just a pin holder. And now, yeah, committee verified is an actual suffix. It comes out as theny.
Yeah.
And so it is an actual honest-to-goodness suffix that you add to verbs as an evidential marker to say, I know this because it's committee verified, versus, other types of evidentials. Well, the lighthouse could be on a mountain. It's a mountain lighthouse.
The thing
sea thing.
It is a monastery disguised as a lighthouse that's in a mountain which looks like a cliff.
I like it.
Yeah.
Does it look like it, or is it disguised as one? Like, did it purposely don its cliff cape?
It's putting on a little cliff cape and cap.
I like it.
And it says, "Ooh, I'm a cliff." And the rest of the lands just kind of roll their eyes.
Oh, man. It could be a mostly underwater mountain. That is very true. In which case, it would also be on an island.
I really always assumed the lighthouse would be on an island, accessible only at low tide. There's a character in one of the Moomin books that's a ghost that everybody clearly believes is not really a ghost, but it just keeps pretending to be a ghost, and they just keep saying, "All right, fine, you're a ghost."
It's the only thing to do.
And he talks in a goofy, ghosty way. Doom is impending. Ooh.
Is that the one they had to basically make the character believe that he actually was scary when he wasn't?
Yes.
Because everybody else was just like, what? Okay. All right. I think we have a winner. And I think it's getting more clear as we just let it sit.
Back hit end stream instead of end poll.
David's done.
All right. So this is what we're going to do then. So our the name of our mouse kingdom is going to be We Are About to Name It Land. And we have an immediate future versus just a regular future. So that is what we're going to call it. And it's going to be like, this thing is really about to have a name. We promise. I really like that idea. And so we'll now move on to actually trying to do that. But in the meantime,
Celebrate
with Kopiko. Hold on a sec. I think, Oh, you got one for me!
Yeah. And I held it up to you, and you said, I'm gonna...
Oh, I was just confused. Look at this one. It's different from that one. I think it's an old one. But look at the back. The backs are different.
The fronts are the same, and they had changed that.
No, I know. But and here's another one.
I think those were from the little bags that we bought for KopiCon.
I think you're right.
And I dumped them in, so they're still new because they had...
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Did you know they're from volcanic coffee beans?
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you want the one that specifically says that, or do you want the bigger, bolder coffee?
I
have the volcano coffee bean.
Kopiko. Look at that. Cheers. They do have a slogan. Kopiko, get ready for the official Kopiko slogan. Bigger, bolder coffee.
I like that it wasn't better. I was waiting for you to say bigger, bolder, better. But no. Bigger, bolder coffee. And I should have known that because I literally had just looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Oh, if we're gonna... Thanks.
Oh.
Woo! Nice, Patrick. I love a good coffee bean. Yes. All right. Welcome, Magpie. And stay grammar to Miles, who has to go get grading done. That is very important.
Wow. Really? So, like, is it just going to be a big cheese dish?
You are a mouse.
Yep. All right. So, name. That is where we need to start.
Same, Mateus. That was a difficult part of teaching.
I didn't like how tedious it was, but I sure did like judging people. That was my favorite part.
That part was not as exciting to me. That is where David and I differ in our personal approaches.
Oh my goodness. I don't lie to myself about being judgy.
And CJ is actually grating cheese right now.
I revel in it. And then instead of being angry at myself for being judgy, I just try to like more things.
Nice.
All right.
But I will say, listen, you do pretty well at it. With some things in life, other things you still need some work at liking more things.
This is true.
But I gotta say, like, you've heard him here in this stream rant about kale.
Oh, yeah.
You sure did like my kale salad.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
He has learned to like something new. Maybe not all kale, but he has learned to like my kale salad.
Like, I don't have like a really clear memory of all of your salads versus all the other things you make, but it may be my favorite salad you've ever made. It's really, really good.
Nice.
Also, Jake, that doesn't surprise anyone, David. I tip.
Thank you.
All right. The very first thing that I wanted to look up was how we dealt with ditransitives, and I typed in ditransitive and I got nothing. So, that's a thing.
Sorry, Patrick says I volunteer to mark papers. The instructors don't even know I'm doing it. I just sneak into the classroom and write things on papers. It's my way of giving back to the community. That's amazing. And Jake, it was raw kale that I had massaged with the dressing that I made, which also David claims not to like dressings, but then he eats mine.
Yeah, like if I get a salad at a restaurant, they ask what dressing. It's just like, I don't understand. It's something that I don't really like the taste of and just adds calories, so why have it? So we have a verb for to give, but like we don't have any way of handling ditransitives. Is that what I'm seeing? Like I thought we had this discussion.
Right here. All these charts.
Oh my God! With indirect. Oh, good Lord!
So yeah, we do it.
All right. How do we do noun incorporation?
When you say how do we do it, do you just mean give an example?
Well, for example, if there are a couple of ways that we can go about this. One of them is using give as the verb, and we put like we are about to give it a name, in which case name would be incorporated as the object. And then if it is, do we still use the ditransitive marking or do we use transitive marking?
We had examples.
The incorporated negator prevents ordinary noun incorporation. I remember that. Incorporand.
Okay, so I don't think we say it specifically. I think it's one or the other, though. You can only have agreement or the incorporand.
I think so too. I just wish we had an example. We have an example as it works with negation, which I appreciate, but
Well, we also have the example.
George Corley is dropping out, but I did want to mention, of course, George is continuing with his live stream Roots and my God, is it Roots and Tongues? Is it Roots and Tongues? I'm so sorry.
Runes.
Thank you. God, I'm so sorry. I'm still coming back. Runes and Tongues tomorrow at 1. Is it Tongues and Runes?
Yes.
That sounds better the other way. Should have said something. Tongues and Runes. But actually, I mean, Tongues and Runes makes more sense. It's the languages first, then the runes. Tongues and Runes tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific. Over on the Conlangery channel.
So here are examples, David, where we show that you cannot put like the incorporated noun if you have like the the is the I. You can't do that. You have to say, like you could do sithi tu mi or sithi mi, but you cannot have both.
So
you can have it here and then specify I as a separate subject. So it's one or the other. You have a standalone subject with eating barleycorn, or but you can't put them both together. And then here's like the mouse eats the barleycorn where the object is incorporated, but you can't. That's this. So you can't do that. Okay.
And those are all direct objects, not indirect objects. So you definitely can't incorporate an indirect object. Okay. All right. Okay. By the way, really sorry to hear about that magpie. Apparently, they were up for teaching a Conlang class, and it's not going to happen. I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, that is sad.
Okay, so that's not going to work. So we can't have give. And so now we come back to name and how to come up with a word for that. And if it should be a verb or a noun, I think that it should be a verb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if we really needed to say the name itself, we could add that patientive. It's the thing that is given. So it's a wa, whatever.
Yeah.
Then the person doing the naming would be a woe, whatever.
All right, so let's go to etymologies.
Oh, and look up.
Yeah.
Name or label or call.
Yeah, I don't really have a big idea right off the top of my head. From Proto-Indo-European, which means name. Good Lord. So going back with name all the way, you just get name. Let's see what else that we've got.
I was going to try to pull it up here for people to see, but struggling here.
Okay, wait, you got to see this. Okay, scroll down. Okay, down here to translations. Okay, word or phrase indicating a particular person. Reputation is in your name. Abusive or insulting epithet, sure, person or legal name. Those of a certain name, race. Computing, unique identifier. Investor in Lloyd's of London. Apparently, name means an investor in Lloyd's of London, and they provided a translation in
Finnish.
Of course. Nimi, which is also the word for name in
Name.
Finnish.
Fascinating. Oh, wait.
UK Finance, an investor in Lloyd's of London bearing unlimited liability. Wow.
What's Lloyd's of London?
It is an insurance company. There was a commercial several years back where a very famous actress's or singer's legs had been insured, so that if anything ever happened to them, no matter what, they would pay out. And so there's just a scene of this famous American actress walking down the street walking down the sidewalk with her gorgeous legs, and there are some boys playing jacks or marbles. And then there's this little British guy with a bowler hat and a cane, and he runs in front of her and he's like, "Get out, get out," and he's kicking all of the marbles away so that she walks unencumbered. It may have been Beyonce. It may have been Britney Spears. I don't know.
I feel like it would be more likely to be Beyonce. But back to Proto-Afroasiatic, meaning name.
So, oh, really? Arabic ism comes from name. How about that? And it used to be Shim? Wow.
Indeed.
Some of the sound changes in Arabic, from Arabic going back to Proto-Afroasiatic, really, really baffle me.
There's a whole lot of N and M in here.
Yeah, so you can ignore those. And it's cool because sometimes there'll be really rare ones, but then of course if you go there, there's not a lot of etymological information because they don't have it.
Let's see if that one is. And then there is one too with check out this script. We just got to look at that.
Oh yeah, Kannada.
Let's see if Khmer has that.
One of my fellow Berkeley graduates from my year, Yamini Rao, was a Kannada speaker. And she was also one of the ones, a very small club, who was a double major in English and linguistics, just like me. And of those who were double majors in English and linguistics, she was a part of the smaller club of double majors in English and linguistics from 2003 in UC Berkeley that went to law school.
Side note, check out this amazing wild bovine. I thought you would like that.
Изображение постановка натур.
They don't have definitions.
Go to Avar. That one feels like it'll have some. No, never mind.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes you run into the problem where you don't actually get Proto-Dravidian. Let's see where this takes us. And in Proto-Dravidian, it means name.
Wow.
Okay. From Proto-Polongic, meaning name.
Name.
So I think it's actually kind of common to just be like, there's this thing you do. Now, these are all nouns. None of them are verbs because we looked up name instead of, say, call or something like that.
I think it's fine.
But I think it's a very human thing to label things and very mousy thing, in fact.
The Trigetta slang word for name is tagan, which is from...
To tag.
From to tag and then a nominalization on. Excuse me.
Yeah, that...
Right.
That's a really cool, expansion. I like it. Okay. So now that I had said, let's not talk about the name until a patron live stream and then, spend 2 hours. We're doing this.
Yeah.
And we'll have to figure out the rest of the mice characters, I think, some other day.
What is native lang? It's probably a YouTube thing.
Just a second. Thank you, Patrick. Like most of its competitors, it is not an insurance company. Huh. I don't know what native lang is. And yes, Patrick, that's what we were doing. Okay.
Okay. Oh, you know what? So this is something that's really old. And so we have a couple of these that are zero-derived nouns and verbs, and I think this could be one of them. So, like smile, for example, we have a noun that means smile that is, oh, it's reduplicated. I see. I see. And so this shouldn't be this. This is weird. Look at this entry. So this indicates that it's just, you know, the same. But then
Right.
over here, chi-chi, chi-chi. What do you think I meant?
That's really interesting, David, because even the way that it's written out in the dual, chisini, like it's not chi
Oh.
chisuni.
I think I know what happened. It was chi-chi down here.
And then copy
And then it was a copy. Okay, so, all right, so yeah, so then good. It is what I thought. It is zero-derived, monosyllabic, noun, verb, and I think we can do that with this too, so that the noun for name will be the same as the verb. And so,
and just with different inflections.
all right, I think that it's time to start throwing out some suggestions for what the word for name is going to be.
I'm going to put this up top because this is important. As I scroll all over the place trying to get there. We
CVC or VC.
And we can end in any consonant. It will be gone, though, by the time we get over to the modern form. So whatever consonant you have on there, if you do have one, will end up giving it some tone.
Yeah, feel free to go to Lexergy. If it ends in a nasal, it's going to be a low vowel, and it's going to affect a vowel change, potentially. If it ends in an approximant W or ya, it's going to be low and it's going to affect a vowel change, potentially. If it ends in a voiceless stop, it's going to be high.
And as a side note, we do allow diphthongs, but you cannot have both a diphthong and a coda.
Yes.
So you're choosing whether you want a diphthong or a coda. And I'm pretty sure all diphthongs are allowable. Again, they're going to get reduced as they come out to modern forms.
Also remember, as you look at these, you're looking at the black and red letters only, not the green ones.
Correct. We added the sh and zh for us.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I think the next language I create, I'm gonna use the theta again.
Adjectives cannot be coda consonants in the proto-forms.
Oh,
that's good to know.
Whoops.
And that is not CVC or VC. So
Jake has
All right.
So is one option.
Throw it in the
Lexergy. Look, hey, there's Ojada right there.
We got
And
then kum.
And
yes, but probably PAT. Do you want an adjective or no?
yo.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Okay, P adjective AT.
Let's look at what we got here. Oh, two of the options are the same, but with low versus high tone.
So, no. Patrick, you can if you have two, but I should mention that proto P adjective ATRIK is Ali, which is the word for thunder.
That was your word.
Yeah.
Oh, that is too funny. Wow. So yeah, Patrick, you're in there.
Yeah, you're in there already, unless you were supposed to have two. I don't remember.
But we can always throw that up as an option if people like the low tone versus high
Hold
tone.
on, is it a different Patrick?
Did we have a different Patrick? Well, David's looking at. I don't need to stare over his shoulder. The Thunder is the committee of the world.
There isn't a Patrick listed as a patron here. Which
was it added during a patron live stream later?
There's the potential of that, but the other option is that it was a patron word for somebody else.
Because you don't have to name it after yourself. You can name it after anyone, and somebody may have been like, I want Patrick to be this. And this was before I was keeping good tabs.
It's Viren. No, I'm sorry, and they're saying it right there. Arnai Petrikor, Viren. Because that's her last name.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Okay. No, so yeah, Pat is absolutely.
That's amazing.
It is an acceptable form, and honestly, I say let's go for those four. I'm
happy with it.
Yeah, I'm doing the poll right now.
So Patrick, you could, but it's got to be put through the vote first.
We're throwing it through the ringer. Okay.
That is hilarious.
Okay, so we've got
Jonathan Patrickor.
and then comes out as ko and nyo.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an F or bilabial?
I think it's an F. We just have it listed as F in the IPA.
Okay.
And then that one would be high tone. Oh, goodness, Patrick. That's right. Because Patrick came to KopiCon and then joined. And so, no, we knew you were on the way, Patrick, and we included you. And well, we didn't. Viren did. Viren was very thoughtful that way to actually have a last name that matches your name.
Arnai Petrikor.
I already.
What about Arnai Patrick Sor, which is...
Matisse invited him to KopiCon.
Oh.
This is amazing. David, do some pronunciations.
They're pronounced like they look. Like...
David.
It's a source of frustration for me. Okay. Nyo, ah.
Some people like to hear it. And I like you pronouncing them because you're so much better than I am.
I like to hear you pronouncing them. You pronounce them.
Ah, ko, nyo, ah.
There we go. Hey, that was good.
There we go. Oh, that's amazing. The rest really is history.
Is puns and posts a thing?
That's awesome. So in a very side note, not including the audience, what's happening in text messages right now?
Nothing.
How am I just getting all these text messages? Who's texting me? I've just been watching it go up during the stream.
Really? Maybe
You're the only person who texts me. What's happening?
It could be the Attorney General.
The Attorney General. Okay, now I'm super curious, though.
All right. But
so
I think
David.
Here we go. Patrick is now a part of the language. And it's so funny because it's like, yeah, Patrick could be a protoform. I just didn't think of it. But I was like, oh, there's no way that will work.
And there it is. There it is. Well, that's why it couldn't be a protoform. You knew that we already had Bali, and we needed, to not repeat the word. It's Alice. Alice is texting me. That's what's happening.
All right, so then I will copy the smile one.
And put it into...
I think it should be,
I'm
well,
gonna go
it'll
here
be
to be
different
ready
because that's
for
going to
you.
be low.
And see,
tone.
here's the Patrick word in question. Bali for Viren.
This is very funny. So now we can have some interesting associations between lightning and the word for name.
Love it. Is it really lightning though? Because this one is just thunder.
Thunder, excuse me.
I think in another language, lightning plus thunder equals, the compound equals storm.
No, that's in this language.
You sure about that?
Yeah, go ahead and look up storm. You're in for a treat.
It sure is. Rulap Ali. Nice. You're right. David doesn't hear that very often. Oh man.
By the way.
But the word for lightning is vula, so nobody would think that this had anything to do with lightning. Thunder, yes, but not lightning.
It's pretty funny. Our word for smile is cheese, but its protoform is is CIS. So officially, cheese is cis.
But you know why it was cheese. We were doing that joke of cheese.
Why is cheese cis? No trans fatty acids.
Anyway.
Terrible.
Goodness gracious, David.
I also think it's not true. Does cheese have trans fat?
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You're not done.
Yeah.
You have things to fix.
I know.
To name is pa, and then name will also be pa. I'm going to do that while you...
Okay, we have to figure out what the negative prefix is going to be.
Oops. Ma. Okay. Let me go here.
So, Jake?
By prefix, do you mean suffix?
No, I mean the prefix. So, Jake's cheese is cis because the queer community is inclusive of the dairy intolerant. Immediately, both McCain and Jonathan said we are. All right.
That's amazing.
Okay, so negation. Sorry, this is taking a minute.
Negation is a suffix.
It's a suffix and a prefix. So, here we go.
Oh, because we had noun incorporation. I forgot. Oh my gosh.
So, we didn't name a squeak. I don't think that makes sense.
We didn't name a crumb.
We didn't name a dot. We didn't name a crumb.
Oh, dot is a good one.
Didn't name a raindrop. Didn't name a whisker.
Oh.
Didn't name a star. Didn't name a paw. I think crumb makes sense. Raindrop can be good.
Sight can make sense, but seed is really good because that's a transaction, and giving something a name could be viewed as a transaction of sorts.
I think you're right. All right. So ta or ta, but it begins with a consonant, so it's going to be ta low. Okay. All right. Just to
Let me see if I can go jump to where David is.
That is also going to be ta, and then ba ti tapati. Oh my gosh, tapati.
Goodness.
Uh,
We
does
gotta
it?
we gotta have like consonant harmony in a language where like you
Yeah.
get one adjective, they're all adjective until you quit. What are you looking for?
Oh, Jake had a really nice idea. Naming raindrops equals a waste of time.
Nice.
Can you go to Lexergy and just
Always.
put in, okay, just put an IF after that? Yeah. Okay, so it is just a regular T.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
oh gosh. T.
You like had to stop and hold your breath.
We have rules about
T. See, you just do it slow.
T.
There you go. See? Totally fine. And then the next one would then just be T.
Yeah, we have this kind of ejective disharmony in Sankheli where it makes a lot of sense. Here it didn't make as much sense. It's just difficult. Like, you know, you gotta get used to it. Okay, and now they're reduplicated. I think is, yeah. Oops, sorry. T. Yeah. T. Yeah.
Because we only do the second syllable, is that correct?
Yeah. All right, now we can move on to the noun. Okay, ends in a consonant and is inanimate. Can we go to the blue tables, the light blue tables?
All right, C final inanimate.
It's L final.
Isn't that C final, L final?
Do we have a C final and there's H?
Oh, I thought you said that's what you wanted. I was like, I got it. H final, and then we get A final.
Okay, go up. No, it's I don't know why we don't have. It must not matter. So go up.
Yeah, I don't think it matters because it doesn't do anything to the next one.
So yeah, go to C final, L final, inanimate. I mean, it changes from low to high.
But no.
Low. Oh, L isn't L. L is low.
No. This L is the R that turns into an L.
No, that right there, it means low tone final. This means high tone final. So let's go to this one. It's just a coincidence that it happens to be the same.
Well, here's the inanimate.
Okay, all right. So then, uh-oh, I still need to see what happens. That's all right, I can find that, I can find that. I just need to go to Tuni, okay. So then this is a T. And then, yeah, it should be J, yeah. And then Swa. I don't think that's gonna be different. Wait.
It should be.
It should be high.
High tone.
It should be high. And then K should be low tone. And I'm gonna double check with the next one. K low tone. Oh, thwa. So this is not swa, it's wa. That's interesting.
You'd think we would have had an example of that.
It's weird because the coda becomes a part of the next thing. So swa becomes thwa.
I mean, we have thwa up here, so it's like.
Oh yeah, so I guess yeah.
But that was for the low final.
Okay, but okay, it's done. We have our noun and our verb that means to name. So now we can get to actually creating the name, which is we are about to name it.
Okay. Imperfect plus today.
So yeah, you look for that. I'm going to look for the
wait, this is just
the
immediate
person
future.
marking.
So this would be immediate. Imperfect plural positive. Are about to name.
Right.
And so
because we have to do the reduplicated form.
Wait. Is scurrying.
Person. See.
All right, so this is going to be, I think, oh, goodness.
Okay, I've got it. So the. So it's going to start with the. Where can we write this?
I mean, I'll write it in the other document as long as you don't need that open. I'll write it here as we. Okay. And that was ejective?
Low. No, not ejective and low.
But E.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And so now, so that is we, it. And now it has to be reduplicated, which is adati. Oh, wait. That's reduplicated negative. Hold on a sec. I may have done this wrong. What are the principal parts of verbs?
It's supposed to be listed in the dictionary?
Yeah.
Well, I can scroll there and see if we have it. This is why I need my page thumbnails visible. Citation form. No, we don't list it in this one.
Shoot, we didn't do it yet.
I mean, we did, because I did it in older ones. It was that we just did not. All right, that's regular. That's negative. It's negative. Something.
Oh, the third one. So first is regular, second is regular negated, third is reduplicated, fourth is reduplicated negative. Okay.
What did we use reduplication for in this?
So this should be, this should just be,
Fractionality, that's right.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am about to confirm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay.
And so is it just ma as a suffix?
It's no.
It's just the ah?
Wait. So go to the place where you're writing it down. Okay, so change that to just delete the T on the end. Yes. Okay. Now we can go to the immediate future. So go back to here.
But it's not clearly labeled.
I know. So go up.
which is not clearly labeled.
It's the imperfect plus today. And
I know you hate it, but this is why sometimes glossing with hyphens can be helpful. Because I don't know where this ends. I believe this is the root, and the ah is the only thing that is the immediate imperfect singular positive. And so same for here. Like I think.
oh, so it isn't the verb that gets reduplicated. It's the suffix. Oh.
No, the verb gets the reduplication. To zoom or to scurry is but tsum as a protoform, and then we get and then the
Yes.
ah is the only thing that gets added.
Okay.
Now why?
Because the ah is getting added.
The if is
negative.
the negative, and which is why there's an F instead of an M. So it's a high tone ah. Where it actually comes from, I don't know in terms of, we don't have protoforms here. So.
Okay, I don't think we ever wrote it down, but I'm pretty sure that the word for today is just ah. And then the word for one day from today is kya. Why would we never have written down the word for today?
David, you're asking some dangerous.
Oh,
here
it's
it
just
is.
E-ah.
Here.
Oh, wait, ot. There we go. Oh, so that's why we couldn't search it. It was immediate parentheses. Yeah. Okay.
And then this is morning is
kya.
Kya.
Okay. Oh, it's ot, which is already the ending of pot. Okay. I think I know what it's going to be. Okay, go back. Go back.
Is it going to be patata? Patata.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's very mousy.
It is very mousy.
Patata. Oh, that was sad. That was. There we go. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. I love it.
We have a name, and it made David laugh, which means it is set. It is final.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I am writing.
Oh my gosh.
It happens to start with a T like Tanangwera, but you know, at least it's a different sound.
It's a th. Th. Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm so happy with that.
Oh yeah, he is straight cackling. This is great.
Oh my. And this is all because of Patrick.
So thank you, Patrick. You not only were a surprise visitor on behalf of Mateus to CopyCon, but you are now forever immortalized in the Mouse Kingdom name that will forever make David cackle. Mateus says, it reminds me of the EU4 challenge to own the provinces of Hehe, Haha, and Woland. That's awesome.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well,
so we're in our last 6 minutes, David.
Yeah, we don't have a poll, do we?
We don't have a poll. What I will say is that we have a topic now that we need to hit in our patron live stream, which will be one of the last 2 Saturdays. We think probably the 23rd will end up probably being better. But I'm going to put a lot of probablys and maybes because things keep coming up on the calendar. And so probably the 23rd will maybe be better than the other Saturdays of the month. Definitely can't do this one, the next one, or the one after that. So fingers crossed that the 23rd works out. But anyway, so we definitely will need to hit on some of these things. I want to save any tank-related vocabulary for a bigger discussion.
Okay.
I think, though, that we could maybe come up with ideas at the very least for archer and rogue. And I want to look here to see if we have any roots to work with, but I think that could end up being a fun little poll.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, we don't have to shoot an arrow or arrow yet. Oh, we do have a word for magic. That's fun. We have to be stealthy. We don't have trap, but we do have steal and stealthy. And we do have a thingamajig, Osa Yamosa.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, I think maybe rogue will be the easier one to approach because we could build something off of these parts or come up with an idea similar. Then they could vote between them and or, depending on how discussions go, ask for suggestions like last time for, just new words.
Just a note, like phonologically, you could have tone on a voiceless vowel, but if it's truly voiceless, no, you can't have tone. That's impossible. And I will demonstrate.
I do really appreciate that your demonstration requires this eyebrow. I love it.
Let's see.
There is still some twitching at the very end.
Can you tell, by the way, what the tone patterns were?
That was low, high, low.
Which one?
The last one you just did.
No, it was high, high, low.
Dang. I got one of the three. Or two of the three. I got the high and the low. The first one I thought was low. There we go. Exactly, Alice. That's what David's face looked like. That was hilarious. The phonemic eyebrow. Yes. That's awesome. Okay. But David, what are you thinking about that idea?
Yeah, we'll gen it up and send it your way.
Can we also just take a moment to appreciate that Wokuthízhű is a committee and Wokuthízhű is a spear?
Ooh.
I mean, can we just appreciate that? Oh, speaking of, Jake mentioned here BSL. Did you happen to see the video they posted in Discord about the new signs that they came up with for the British Bake Off?
Oh no!
And there were no spoilers. It was just her talking about what signs she had to create together with her interpreter I think she created and the interpreter used them. But things like signature mean something very different than what the actual sign for signature is because it's signature. And so like they came up with some really key signs specific to GBBO, and it was a really neat video. The West Coast wave, I love it. Both eyebrows and the nod. Nice.
Oof.
It was demonstrated live by our Prime Minister during the lockdowns as a way to do a non-physical contact greeting.
Oh.
That's amazing. I love that a wave is somehow physical. Physical when I wave to you.
That's how you do it. Well,
But that is awesome. And I love that it was demonstrated live to be like, look, you don't have to shake hands. You can do the sup. That's awesome. Okay. So David, I think we did some good work today.
Yeah.
I think we now have a lot that we can move forward with. And yeah, your poll will be to be determined very within the next 6 days. You'll have a poll, patrons. And it will be something to do with our rogue and the name that the little rogue mouse shall take. And so, in the meantime, we wish you all to stay grammar. We remind you that tomorrow is the start of Luxembourg, so enjoy. Even if you're not participating, enjoy, because it's always fun to see what people put out. And so, still, I hope you all have fun. And David's going to remember to actually end the stream.
Yes, I will.
He did not forget. And for patrons, also, there will be a podcast very soon, hopefully tomorrow.
All right. And then stay grammar.
Jewelry hells.
Jewelry hells, everybody. And there we go.
That's classic David. All right, bye.
Bye.